fucking go.
Hello, hello. Welcome to TEMP Online Meetup, March 2025. Uh, yeah, so just getting started here. We always like to check the stream condition out there. So if you guys want to check the uh, YouTube seems to be okay for myself, but personal channel, I don't know if anyone's looked, but we should be good to go. But yeah, welcome once again. We have some familiar faces with us. We also have once again DNSK joining us all the way from Sweden. So thank you for joining us at this time. We know it's late, but you know, it's good energy. It's good discussion. Had a really great time last time. And yeah, we always strive to you know, achieve the same quality, if not better, as we move on with each meetup, you know, and we typically have very good submissions from our regulars, which is another treat, I think, for our meetup group, is that the music tends to be really, really high quality. So, and that's really because of all of you. So, I did invite actually a few other people, so we'll see if they taper in. But anyways, without any further ado, I'll just go over the normal sequence of events, which is that producers send in a track and sometimes with a video, which we randomly put everyone's name into a list and then randomly pick a person's name. And we go ahead and play that person's track and or video, and I stream that to YouTube and also to Twitch, or at least we try to, I should say. Um, but that's the objective. We try to have multiple channels for streaming, as a matter of fact, for you know, the obvious reasons of redundancy. But you know, some pros and cons with each one. So we're pretty much agnostic. Like if I could stream literally to every platform that existed, I would. But we just pick ones that are easily obtainable and reasonably good in terms of the sound quality. It really is the biggest key feature. YouTube does tend to be more of a lag. So sometimes you'll notice between the Zoom call and when we play back is like 20 seconds or more, something around that ballpark for me anyways. But it's decent sound quality and the reliability has been good. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the streaming platforms as much as we are to talk about electronic music, which is the main focus. And also, I'd just like to say, you know, I was thinking, you know, it's a kind of cultural culturally significant, creative content that, you know, it's good to keep within the hands of normal people that are out there, as opposed to, you know, having like the big Wall Street kind of monopolies, you know, control the culture. Because as much as, you know, sometimes maybe people out there, I don't think this group does, but take music for granted. And at the end of the day, music is part of what we do in terms of you know, the whatchamacallit, the artwork, you know, mass culture is something that is not by coincidence under a pretty tight grip hold by, you know, the usual suspects, really. And in terms of financial, you know, international finance you know, they make a good habit of making sure that the cultural, institutions are kind of, guarded and whatever you want to say, like closely kept an eye on at bare minimum, if not outright controlled. So being independent, frankly, it's a small, drop in the pond, if you will, maybe, but for every single one of us, it's one less under their spell. So that's a kind of a side thing, believe it or not, beyond the electronic music is the freedom, really, which is important to a culture to actually control their own culture rather than have it controlled for them, and especially by nefarious, antagonistic forces, even. So it's even more important. And so sometimes we think, it's just a labor of love, which it is. Music is a labor of love for me. It's a hobby. I don't even really feel sometimes worthy of the name because there's so many talented people at present and even throughout history. But, at least there's a forum here for people who do have talent as well. And we can, sort of exchange ideas, learn from, people who have experience, right? People have different perspectives too. So, and I was saying earlier, the last thing I'll say, I promise, is that we're also like international, so we have people from different geographies, different backgrounds, sharing, from a perspective, in addition to their own individual perspective, they're kind of, the place they come from, you know what I mean, which has a lot of influence on the types of music people are exposed to. But anyways, I
Hey,
appreciate the interesting. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Lenny, Richard just said he's trying to get in. So,
Yeah, I'll let him in a second here. Sorry
oh,
about that.
okay. Yeah. No, I just wanted to let you know in case you didn't see it.
Oh, thank you, DNSK. I saw you posted the link there. I appreciate that. Saves me the trouble.
Yeah, just did
Yeah,
a
yeah.
message on the IC.
I was kind of filibustering a little bit there to give myself time to type, but you've done the job there, so spares the monologue. But
Friends,
yeah,
friends for.
thanks. Exactly, exactly. That's right. We're all in the same boat here. So let me go ahead and admit all these people. Man, got sidetracked. So yeah, it's good to see everyone once again. We got Richard, Andrew, Era, and Paul. Sorry for making you wait there. Sort of got caught up in you know whatchamacallit on the a few items that I wanted to cover off. But anyway, guys, it's March. Spring is just around the corner, so it's an exciting time to be
It's already
making
here in
music.
Charlotte.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Leaves
Yeah,
and blooms are showing up on trees, so pretty crazy.
yeah, it sort of arrived here and then kind of went away a little bit, and
Hmm.
but I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take
Heard
whatever
heard
weather.
heard every word listening on YouTube.
Oh, you
Oh,
did? Oh, okay, okay.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, I
man.
was
I
gonna
just
say. Yeah.
I'm glad YouTube's working. I thought Twitch would, but I really can't predict how that stuff's going to work out. My own personal Twitch, though, the twitch.tv/spy audio, that has worked weirdly enough 2 weekends in a row prior to this. So
Hmm.
that's why I thought it would work. But you know what? At the end of the day, YouTube
Would
seems to be really stable and decent. So, worst comes to
Yeah.
worst, we can handle that delay.
yeah,
Lenny, can you put the
definitely.
YouTube link back in the comments again? Sorry.
Sure, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I just threw it in the comments there, in the Zoom comments there. Yeah. So that's where we're gonna go when we play back the music, just as a reminder. So even though we're talking here in Zoom, technically we could share in Zoom. I don't want to get too sidetracked with that whole conversation again, but if
Hmm.
someone felt strongly enough about it, it's perfectly acceptable, to be honest with you. Otherwise, you will send me a file or link to the email, and then I play it through OBS. And so ultimately, we'll listen back on the YouTube link there. So, and yeah, I just got to make sure I got everyone's name here, and we'll get going in short order. But how is everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah,
Just,
doing all right.
Good stuff.
Right.
Good stuff.
Well, as you can tell, I'm packing, so that's fun.
Right, right. That's
Again.
always stressful. Yeah.
I started early though, so I'm way ahead of the game. I just got to keep up the pace. It's like amazing how much you can collect as one person.
No doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt. Like it's painful even. I would go that far.
Yeah.
Wife and I were contemplating moving sometimes, look around, they're like, no, we're unmovable now.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck. Well, I'm getting rid of all. I got rid of my couch there. I got rid of a chair in my bedroom. I've got a sofa and a chair and an ottoman going to my sister's boyfriend. His daughter and son-in-law are going to pick up my bar stools. I'm basically moving into a place that already is established, so they have furniture, so I don't need to bring it. That's the good
Oh,
part.
a
Yeah.
plus.
Well, except for my computer stuff here that's set up. But
Yeah, just excuse me a second here. I just got to trying to get Vosto to join here. Actually.
Yeah, so I can also announce that I have been sharing the YouTube stream link and the Twitch temp our
Yeah,
events on IRC, all the networks that I'm in. So hopefully we'll get some people there from there
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
You know, and I was just saying this the other day on the IRC is that we really were an in-person meetup for as the name would suggest, to get in person and meet up, right? And then during COVID, we went online, and we got people from so many different geographies and different areas that staying remote seemed to make the most sense. And the way I rationalize it is that, you know, for people who are local, we are having live events. So we can always, you know, come to those live events in the Toronto downtown, usually GTA. And we should have one in May back at the Smith House. So we're gonna have some DJs and MCs going again. Um, but I'll get the official information out once we have everything nailed down. But I did explain the story to some people on the other day online, how when we were in person, we had the Serwin Vegas that Andrew would bring in, the other Andrew. And we had a space that was real no neighbors to complain, just of how it was situated. And so we could crank the music, you know. So it was
Yeah.
that's actually one of the things I miss a lot beyond the
Yeah.
socializing. The socializing was cool too, but
Mhm.
having like that ability to hear your tunes on a proper rig, you know, and
Yeah.
it's a nice so you know, I guess the flip side is you have the flexibility of being online, which, you know, is the strength on that side. But
But I
Plus,
got
you're. Oh, go
no,
ahead.
I'm just saying that maybe next year, if I can get my shit together economically, monetary kind of ways, I will definitely um, join you, IRL, in a place for
yeah,
a
yeah,
meeting.
we should
If
go
you're having
international
one.
too, you know, like yeah, we should do in-person ones in Toronto again.
In
Um,
Toronto, yeah. Yeah,
yeah, I
okay.
do still have technically access to that space, to be honest, so I could probably
Mhm.
arrange it. But
Mm.
Come down to
yeah.
the U.S. It's very friendly down here.
Yeah, well, they might charge us
I
a
so I
tariff now.
heard.
That's the only problem, you know. They'll be like 25% tariff on electronic music, you know. It's
Yeah. Well,
we
I was
laugh,
gonna
but you never
say,
know, man. Could
yeah,
happen.
I was gonna say that the other good thing about having it online is that you have multiple systems that people are monitoring it on, so you do get a little bit of variety of feedback on that too.
Yeah, and both are real world. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, people listen to music online, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And then they hear music in person in like bigger or smaller or whatever, clubs, bars, you
Mhm.
name it. But performances sometimes too, live music. But
Mhm.
car, car audio is just distortion, man. I mean, in terms of what it highlights and what it takes out or whatever, like it enhances certain frequencies. So sounds actually great with drum and bass, to be honest with you. Like my car
Mhm.
with drum and bass, oh, it's perfect, man. It's beautiful, right?
Mhm.
But you play other types of music and it doesn't have the same mid range. It doesn't have the same like quality that my monitors would have. You know what I mean? So as we
Well,
know,
I
like
think.
one trick of mastering is to listen to it on many different types of speakers.
Mhm. I think your speakers have tuned themselves to drum and bass though, like because that's what you listen to.
It could be. I don't know, man.
Like we don't do mid range
More or
anymore,
less the
man. Sorry.
default, but it's gotten a good dose of that for sure, no doubt.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll go ahead and share my screen and we'll spin the wheel. And actually, Claude, I think we should mention. I think you were having some back issues or something, so not
Yes, I
to
do.
put you on the spot, but yeah, we could actually start with your tune, Claude, and then afterwards we'll spin the wheel actually, and then
Okay.
you're welcome to stay, obviously, but don't feel guilty if you know what I mean for health reasons, right? Like you can't
Yeah, I
stay for
can't sit
long.
for too long,
Like we're understanding about that, so we'll make
but I'll be
exceptions.
listening. If I'm not on Zoom, I'll be listening
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, so let me go ahead and line that up then. Anything you wanted to say, Claude, first before, and welcome back. You think this is your second meeting, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
third?
I was nervous that I'm not gonna be able to start the streaming, but I got it finally. So I think I'm
Right,
okay turning the music off on my computer system and turning the microphone on the
right. Yeah,
telephone works just well. So it's a song I made. It's called Lavender Fields. It's actually a song I made after a trip to Lavender Fields, which was very calm and had a sentiment of well-being. And this is what I tried to transpose into the song. And I went with somebody, so toward the end, it feels a bit maybe some dissatisfaction. I don't know if you can feel that, but I can't wait to throw you my usual song, which is more like rhythms and sounds. But this one is more melodic, and I think you should like it. So enjoy.
all right, let's give it a listen, and we'll be back in a few.
Thank you.
I was at this concert the other night, but it was all this computerized electronic noise. Hell, after about 20 minutes, I just got up and left right in the middle of the whole shebang. Left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle,
Left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle.
I don't know what track I played earlier, by the way, how that got into that. Apologies for
I
that,
don't know,
Claude.
but I liked it.
It was a nice intro. It was a nice
Yeah.
intro.
It's a lot quite
Left, right.
different.
I was like, all right,
I
that
su- I
sounded
su- I su-
different.
I submitted that.
Oh,
Maybe
that
we'll
was
hear it
yours?
later.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
it
Sorry,
sounded
sorry.
like your stuff, Richard.
Because I had
Okay.
listened to Claude's track, and I'm like, that just doesn't
That doesn't
remind
sound right.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, is that DNSK's maybe? Because then I know sometimes you might do something like that, but
Might do
it's you,
something.
Richard. Wow, cool. But anyway, Claude, great track. I mean, very, very somber, melancholic, I would say, but you know.
Thank you. I don't do many soft tracks, but I like when I spit one.
Yeah, it had a lot of like unique kind of metallic energy and like different sounds that were not common, but it was woven together in a nice way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't traditional instruments or anything, so it was interesting to hear like some variation.
Yeah, it's all made with plugins. So
What DAW do you use?
I'm using Cakewalk.
Cakewalk? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Haven't heard that in a while. I mean, that used to
Cakewalk?
be, Cakewalk was one of the like Cubase, Cakewalk back in the day. I remember were very popular, but still going.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
There's a switch to Sonar that you have to buy now, so I might have to switch. But I just don't feel like learning a new software now.
Yeah, if it works for you, you know, I'm kind of on that side of things. I know some people are very, if you want to go with industry stuff, this and that, but I used to use Acid for the longest time, okay, and that felt like, you know.
Wait, you're talking about the DAW, not like the drug, right?
Yes, the DAW, of course. But I was talking to someone recently, and they're like, they swear by it. They're like, oh yeah, Acid is the best for jungle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chopping up amens, blah blah blah.
But
so,
you dropped Acid.
Well, you know,
you dropped Acid.
I might have fallen into some Acid. I believe that might have been the case. Stumbled. It's everywhere, you know. But no, this very unique track once again, Claude. And anyone else have any feedback?
I felt like I got a feeling of Tubular Bells in a way, but in a harpsichord. Yeah, Old Fields or Tubular Bells. It was the same atmospheric feeling, the do do do, but in the harpsichord metallic sound of it. I don't know. It was something that popped up in my head when I heard it. But it was a nice track. I really like the steady boom, steady stops. Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that it was very off the grid. I think that was the comment I made. It seemed like it wasn't as structured as you'd normally hear, so it made things a bit interesting. So that was cool.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of structure, I guess. I have to work hard to make structure into my song.
It was very cool.
Okay, thanks.
Yep,
Hope you
thank
feel
you.
better.
Yeah, get well soon. All right, I'll go ahead and share my screen now, and I'll spin the wheel here. As usual, if you see that a name is missing, let me know, please, or any other like spelling errors or something, or anything, really. Jill, how's it going? Oh, it was you. The
Yeah,
weird
your
sound.
microphone is like chipmunk.
Can't hear you. Yeah.
I think you need to
Yeah,
reload
it
Zoom.
sounds like a
Are you
chipmunk.
going?
Yeah.
Are you going through like an effect? Nope, can't hear you at all now.
No,
No, it's
The
probably
mystery solved though.
unless you.
It's Alvin.
it's the sampling rate. For some reason, I
Yeah.
think it's a sampling rate. You need to lower the sampling rate.
Yeah.
If you have it high, Zoom doesn't recognize high sample rates.
Somewhere in the Zoom settings.
You can always drop out and come in again, but that might just be the exact same problem again. You never know. But if you check your sound settings, if change
you're
your
muted now.
microphone, change your
Yeah.
back, maybe.
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we could always play your tune in the meantime too, Joe, and you know. I think I saw that it was a work in progress in the title, so. But I know the track Jill brought in last week was really, really like exceptional.
How's this? Is this better?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm
That
using a
works.
webcam microphone, so I just unplugged it and plugged it back in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this track, once again, I'm using some vocals. Same woman that I used last time. Sorry, same poet that I used last time. My wife sang the words, but this time it's the poet who recorded this back in 2016, and it's called Tyrant. So she's speaking the poem. So my it's a work in progress. I'm looking for feedback as to how to ensure that the message, because it's a poem and it's powerful, so the message has to come through. And um, I was battling because I don't want to put too many instruments, but yet I don't want to make it just a beat and only a beat and it becomes like a rap, a boring rap. So looking for feedback as to what I could do to improve it, and yeah, any feedback will be appreciated.
Okay, let's give it a spin.
It's rough. It's very rough. At this point, it's not finished at all.
Okay, all right. Good to know. Thanks, man. Let's give it a listen.
Dear tyrant, you insist that life is black and white. You spit in spite and insist you're right. Your citadel of certainty gives an illusion of security, barricading your beliefs behind narrow-minded bars. To protect from the threat of complexity, you draw rigid lines to divide and malign. Dear tyrant, you pray and preach that God is great, yet in his name hurl arrows of hate. You howl against heretics and burn them in flames as you revel in your religion of rage. Fundamentalism's your false foundation, and righteousness your rigid religion. Dear tyrant, you cling to your political throne by crushing all voices that dare to differ. You shake your fists in a tantrum of fury at those who shake your faith's foundations. But your harsh demeanor is just a brittle shell hiding your fragile interior. Dear tyrant, the truth is clear. Fear's the force behind your facade, playing big to avoid seeming small. But you're just a tiny tin pot tyrant, trembling inside your temple of terror. Bang! Tyrant! Bang! Tyrant! 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 Dear tyrant, can you feel what's stirring? Can you see what's swirling? All around, life pulses in passion. Wild nymphs sing with sacred abandon, and the dissidents dance in daring delight. Dear tyrant, can you hear what's thundering? Can you feel what's rumbling? Your kingdom is now crumbling. Your castle walls are tumbling. Your flags and banners lie ripped and scattered as the winds of change tear them to tatters. Dear tyrant, can you feel what's coming? You will topple from your tower as we rise up and reclaim our power. Tyrant, your time is done.
Yeah, I bounced it just before the meeting, and I'm finding it, especially at the beginning, it was I know the words have to come through, and they just need to be slightly supported by the music, but I think it's just too. I think listening to on my system is just too. Yeah, I bounced it low. Just before the meeting, and there is a definite A part and B part to her poem, and that's where there was a little bridge in the middle. Because at first she's just talking about the tyrant, and then at the end she talks about the people revolting against him, and we're going to make it. So that's why there's a change in key, and there's a change in from a minor.
The mood.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was very deliberate. But I don't want to say any more. I just want some feedback as to.
Yeah. I mean, I think you probably just need to take more time with the mix, right? Like, to me, like on my monitors, it did sound like the vocal was kind of sitting up here, and the rest of the song was kind of floating a little bit below. But I also note that you don't want to you want to make that vocal the main part, right? So just to ensure that I don't remember
you can almost duck it or something.
But like just as long as the frequencies where vocals have presence or are open, like I think you'll go a long way with that. But overall, the concept's cool, especially and the lyrics. Yeah,
I think in this case, it's not really the same approach as in dance music, like any music, like vocals. It's basically poetry with the background music, right? So it's not the same. Like they shouldn't be at the same level. I think that I would even make the music quieter a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, just to emphasize the lyrics. I mean, the poetry is self-sufficient. It doesn't even have to have music at all, right? Like, and if you want to kind of give it, make it a little bit more interesting, you can have some background, but they definitely not at the same level, I think. I don't know.
Do people think there was too much melody in the instrumentation, or should it be just beats and not even a bass line, for instance?
I would personally remove the percussion completely in this particular. Even though every time I say not enough drums, but in this case, I think they're distracting.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the vocal itself is the percussion, because it's kind of has that percussiveness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you accent it like on certain words, like you do like a kick, like on, instead of trying to do a beat that just goes behind it, maybe you like time the beats to like her emphasized words or something like that. Could be interesting concept.
Okay. Okay. It gives you some ideas, things to try.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the melody at the end is kind of like a house type beat and sound to it, which I don't mind the concept, but yeah, maybe the melody is just kind of like a bit too strong. Maybe it has to be less defined or something.
Yeah. Originally, when I took on this project, I thought, okay, I recorded her in a studio, and then I had her track. And then I thought, okay, I'm just going to put some beats to this, and that's it. Not even maybe a bass line. But then I put a bass line in, and I thought, the same bass line over and over and over again, it just gets boring. But maybe it's okay to have it boring, or maybe, but at least with some of this feedback, I will try a few things. I'll try to remove the melody, just try a beat, try a sparse beat, try actuating the beat in different. I'll try a few of those things and see what happens. But
I'll say one thing that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was
just going to say, and then just turn the vocal off completely and listen to it, and just see what it sounds like too, and see if it like makes sense or not.
Yeah.
On its own, and then I don't know. It could be kind of an interesting way to test it.
Yeah, you might want to perform it, do it live, like I've been talking about, like DJ effects, like just run the vocals through and then do the music accompaniment live, perhaps. Just run some effects, bring it in and out. I don't know. It's a suggestion. You could always try it as a scratch mix, see if something works, right? Sometimes something might just click. But I was gonna say, just on another related note, I suppose, but the early days of rap, the vocals were always way more loud than the music, and then at a certain point in the late 80s, they brought the music up, just sort of an interesting moment in where it became much more full. Like hip hop was like suddenly just as same production really as, other types of music. Whereas, like I say, in the past was always the vocals was the emphasis, but you might want to go old school with it, as other people suggested. You know what I mean? It might work.
It's worth a try.
It's strong material. You know what I mean? Like it's very propagandistic, but at the end of the day, these are the tools of both, art and mass communication and mass control. Right? It's all using the same ingredients.
We're giving the feedback based on the assumptions, right? Like we assume you want to achieve something. Like, is it a song? Because the song, if it's a song, it has the rules, right? Like a certain balance. If it's a poetry or a message, then you definitely don't want to compete with the message with anything that would distract from the message, right? So it has to be kind of organic.
Well, it's not sung. It's not sung, so it's always just it's spoken. It may sound sung sometimes because she's putting emotion in it, but it's one note, just like if you're speaking. So that's why I wouldn't call it a song. So maybe what I'm hearing here is that the message is the most important thing. So maybe just lay back on everything else.
Can I suggest
Yeah.
something? I would like
Yeah.
to suggest something to the song. So instead of having the beat with that melody, you can actually just put some drone effects in the background and some distorted bass sounds that come and go with like a cutoff filter that goes back and forth a little bit, you know. So the atmosphere is intense. The woman is saying something intense. So you can't put like a happy song, you know. So you have to put like an intense background sound to it without beats. That's what I'm seeing. And maybe some orchestral stuff too sometimes.
Some
That's
more
orchestral stuff.
Okay.
Some orchestral, like some strings popping in sometimes, you know. It could be interesting.
Almost like,
make
have you ever heard of grime? Grime is kind of like a UK kind of hip hop, but they have moments where there's no beats and it's just like straight up like suspense movie, all kind of like different, what's that word? Discordant, but at the same time harmonic, you know, just a little bit out and in. And anyway, it's an atmospheric, it's very heavy atmospheric vibes to it. You know what I mean? But typically they would then go into like rap and like beats or whatever. But like I say, they have these interludes where they're quite. But yeah, that's a good feedback, Vosto. I think you were echoing what Peter said, so that's an interesting, you know, suggestion there.
May I throw in something?
Yeah.
Hello?
Sure, please.
Yeah, I was just thinking because when the song started, I really liked that it started right away with the vocals that I like very much. And since you want to put the emphasis on the vocals, I was wondering if it would fit if you would start the song just with the vocals and then put some music so that you have an emphasis right away on the vocals. I don't know if it would fit, but because I
It's
really
worth a
like
try.
to start with the vocal.
Definitely worth a try. It's easy enough. Good point. Thanks.
Just an idea.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and then one thing I thought too is like maybe you chop up the vocals a little bit and do some stuttering effects or something, you know, to kind of emphasize some of the terms that she's saying, or maybe there's like a really powerful word and you just put like a big reverb on that, just that word or something, you know, so you kind of really kind of articulate a little bit more what she's saying. Anyway, or maybe it steps back and it's through a phone call or something, you know, or like a radio broadcast for a certain section or something, you know. Anyway, there's lots of stuff to play with there.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Perfect. Great feedback.
Yeah, great discussion there and feedback, and appreciate Jill for sharing. Oh wow, man. All right, I guess what I'll say about this tune is I made this literally last year in December, and I think at that time I had a couple of tracks that I was going back and forth between to share at that meetup, and I went with the other one. So today you get to hear the one I didn't submit or didn't play. I think, I'm pretty sure. So this track I would say is in progress. You know, so I don't consider what I'm about to play to be like ready to be released per se. But I feel like, you know, I'll just play it, I guess, and we can talk about it. But there's certain things that I want to like, you know, add or whatever or change. So I'll give it a spin. Yeah, so
I
Liquid.
loved that one. That was awesome.
Excellent track, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sounded amazing on the monitors.
That was really, really a fat track. Definitely.
Really? Wow.
I really liked the when it dropped into the bass, like boom. Like, oh my God, my imploding head.
Yeah, no,
Love
the
that.
bass part is definitely good. And it's Liquid, you know, so like the
Yeah,
genre is
Liquid.
supposed to be like very smooth and morphing and and it's not really a genre that I listen to enough, frankly.
Mm.
Or a subgenre within drum and bass. Like I
What
tend to
what
be
subgenre?
Liquid.
Oh,
okay.
So, but there's more like personally, I would say Submarine. I don't know if they would even agree, but I would just occurred to me the other day that they have that Liquid bass going. But it's a very mellow, soothing, and obviously you got the drums at double time, like which is typical. But it's and I actually was what I thought was missing was maybe some variation. Frankly, like that's what I was thinking that maybe the second drop or third drop.
Yeah, you could throw some
But
elements in there maybe that like just like some kind of effect or something that just kind of adds a little bit of flavor to it. But yeah, I didn't get tired of listening to it. Actually, I want to throw it on my road mix for when I'm driving out to Phoenix. So
oh really? Yeah, I can
yeah,
send you a copy.
yeah,
I mean, at the end of the
yeah.
day, I have
Put it on Bandcamp. I'll buy it.
I don't mind having especially for I could send you a copy, man. But the reality is even when you're mixing this stuff, you end up adding elements as well. But still, I like to have trying to be more of a perfectionist, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The drums, as I mentioned in the whatchamacallit, the chat there, I did sidechain it, so the kicks are coming through, I think, but still, I don't know. That was another area that I thought maybe there needed to be more presence of the drums, but it's there's a lot there happening, so you know, yeah, I'll give it some time to think of. I'll listen to it in a few more environments, but I'm glad I played it to finally because
Oh yeah.
I didn't expect this kind of a feedback. To me, it's a very like definitely the melody is nice, and then I do like some of the warping effects that sort of happen. It fits in nicely, but
It's a night driving type of song,
you
So you're
know,
like driving at night, and you
it's a
got the
straightforward track. Is
yeah.
what I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like I'm always trying to overcomplicate things, I guess. And I'm just like, well, it is actually working, I guess. So, but thank you, I appreciate that because I don't know. Sometimes I listen to this, like I say, I made this in December. So I've heard this in the car, I've heard it on monitors, I've heard it in a few places, and it seems to hold up. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
always a good sign.
the mix was very clean at my end too. And what I really liked, I've noticed probably in the last 6 months to a year, Lenny, you're really venturing off to different areas. You're really experimenting with your drum and bass, and I think that's
Well,
fantastic.
thank you. And I think I mentioned this before. One of the things I really like about drum and bass, I like all genres, by the way, but within drum and bass, there's a lot of latitude. You can go in so many different directions. So you can't really get tired of it, at least for myself. But definitely it's a nice change. And you know what? Different forms make you appreciate other forms, if it makes any sense. You know what I mean? Like I go into like jungle for a while, and then when I hear the neurofunk, it hits me twice as hard. You know what I mean? And then you go from the neurofunk to liquid, and you're like, whoa, okay, this is like, you know what I mean? Like really like puts you on a journey kind of thing, So I don't
I
know. It's
just
all whatever works, But still.
yeah, I can't keep track of all the genres, but I like that track.
There's there's so many genres out there. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like wine description sometimes. People can take it, into but it's a necessary, like I said before, like
yeah,
when you think about movies, right? You generally want to know a category or at least every
But they
movie at one
only,
point,
but they only have like
try to.
7 categories. You look at music, and there's like 2,000 categories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems
But anyway.
it seems like it could be
I'm like, what genre do you write? Well, I don't know. I just put
like
electronic
no,
on everything.
I know there's a lot of Vostel, you can attest to this, and I guess some other people as well. But look at all the synthwave subgenres. Like,
oh god damn!
can barely keep track of it all.
Every main genre has like 15 other subgenres, I guess.
I write in the Despondo genre. That's what I write in.
Right on.
Which
Right on.
Oh,
that's just my own genre.
And by the way, welcome, Vostel.
there
Thank you
you
for
go.
joining all the
Yeah.
way from Romania.
No problem.
Yeah.
It's been a while, so we got.
I've been enjoying the ski season, you know. I got a grind. I can't be at this time when I'm working. I can't be at 2 and 3 a.m. here, you know. But now that it's spring,
Absolutely.
I can come back and make
Yeah.
some weird experiments and play them here on this show.
Hey,
Yeah,
Vasto.
yeah.
Sounds good.
I have a friend that was Romanian and he taught me some words. I can't remember what they are. Demodat. Demodat. Demodat?
I don't recognize that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
I
worried,
can
man. I'm
teach you a
worried
very
you're gonna say
important word, though.
something. Next thing you know, it's gonna be like.
You
Just
can
be
say
careful.
sushpula if you want. Sushpula. Can you say that? Yeah,
Shashpulak.
perfect.
Yeah.
When you see,
Okay.
when you meet your friend, tell him that.
Shashpulak. Okay, I will.
Without the C at the end, just
Oh, man.
sushpula.
Look it
Very
up.
important.
Shashpulak.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have
perfect.
no clue. I have no clue.
Shashpulak.
Lenny,
Yes.
Lenny, I was thinking that
But
came. I
salut,
came to
salut
think.
is the easiest thing. Sorry.
No worries. I was just thinking about the Liquid DMB. I don't. I have been listening to some Liquid DMB through the years here, and I came across this great producer calling himself Chris SU. I don't
Oh,
know if
okay.
you're. So I can recommend
Yeah, look it up.
Chris SU and his remix of Björk's "All Is Full of Love." That's a
Okay.
great Liquid DMB remix of her song.
I know that song. That's a beautiful song.
It
Yeah,
is. It is.
believe it or not, I remember seeing a Bjork remix somewhere somehow. I don't know if it's the same one. I mean, I'm sure that she has lots of remixes, but just recently, so it could be. But yeah, I'll check
So
that out, man. As a
yeah,
matter of fact,
because
I wanna spin some Liquid DMB. So
yeah.
maybe, yeah. I
So I was
really
thinking that tune, if you now continue on this path of Liquid DnB, I can definitely recommend some light female vocals to
sure.
something. Maybe you can try that out because I
Yeah,
find
yeah.
female vocals with Liquid DnB so
Oh, for sure.
soothing, so
Yes.
nice. So
Yeah, absolutely,
beautiful.
absolutely. And I've always been into melody. So, Liquid is good for that because you can actually do a little bit more melody than perhaps some other
Oh, indeed.
genres of
Yeah.
drum and bass, you know what I mean? Yeah, so, but yeah, thanks. I'll definitely take you up on that
That
offer,
song
man.
was made 11 years ago, but it's still
Oh,
really good.
okay.
It's timeless. It's
I don't know where I
timeless.
saw that. It's weird.
Mhm.
But yeah, thanks guys for your feedback. Appreciate that. Oh, and Vostel. Okay. So you sent me something just
I don't know. You can play which one you want, I guess. I just made a version where I added a little bit of lyrics and a vocoder on it, because I thought it would work for the song. But
okay. You can play both
whatever.
if you want.
Play whatever. Play whatever you want. Just dice it, roll the dice or flip the coin.
On that note, this is a good segue. I'm sorry, I can't out myself. I went down the rabbit hole on like vinyl and dub plates and making your own dub plates, and so I found a place in the States that does old school dub plates where it's the same place where they do the master plates when you go to press an album. So the first process they do is they get like a master like tin or something, kind of a metal plate, and then they go to a record pressing plant and they press it, right? Well, a dub plate, they put like a kind of acetone and they make just one copy. And just and so that was very popular in reggae and in drum and bass and jungle. And you could only play them 80 times basically, because every time you would play it, the acetate would come off. And that's very old school. And like there's also a new school type of dub plate where it's actually just plastic and you can listen to it for forever basically, but it's not the same quality. It's like 80% of what a record would be equivalent wise, approximately. But anyway, the reason I'm saying this, there's one guy that does a type of record where each groove is parallel. So depending where you drop the needle on the record, a different track can play. So I was thinking for a compilation, you know, imagine a temp compilation, and on side B of a record, this is just a concept. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but each time you drop the needle, it's of like one of 10 different tracks, right? And each track could have like a fixed length, you know, like 2 minutes or whatever.
Basically, an analog shuffle.
Yeah, it's like a shuffle.
Yeah.
And there's been like very few records. I thought this would have been a novelty that tons of records would have exploited. And now that I'm mentioning it, I guarantee you there's going to be people jumping on it. But at the end of the day, it's still a good idea. And, you know, and it could be just like I say, maybe a side B, right? Side A could be like normal tracks in a normal manner. And they also do like those full, like at the end of the track, it just keeps looping for infinity. So you can do that literally on every track, for example, just on the last track. And people used to just have like these cool, sometimes like music, sometimes people would have like little messages and stuff that would just loop forever. So it's kind of
the loop at the end is awesome for DJing. You can do basically, it's like CDJs almost, right?
Yeah.
You
Like
loop
the emergency loop, man. It's like just in case everything else fails, man, you got that going for you. Yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd mention. I'm sorry to take away from Boston. I don't know why that led me to that idea there. Sorry.
Oh, it's cool, man. We're discussing music. That's the point, right?
Yeah. But you know, I think you said something about randomness, and that came to mind. But let's go ahead and listen to.
Wait.
I'll play the instrumental and then the vocal.
Let me say no, because it's not like a big vocal. It's just like a sample that I did really quick. By the way, this song I just made it now for the show. Because I wanted to play something new, like not even a demo project or something that was close to finished or something. So I just made this song for this show. So I hope you guys like it.
All right. Let's give it a listen to.
Very 80s vibe. That was pretty cool. I liked it very much.
Yeah, it was a very post-apocalyptic balance, very this steampunky way of expressing sound, in my opinion.
Spot
And I
on.
love
That's
noise.
what I do. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
thing. The 80s inspiration, but brought into some kind of dystopian, futuristic world, where with some dark elements sometimes.
Exactly.
The voice is not great, but I just made it 30 minutes to go. Like, I mean, not 30 minutes right now, but just before the show started, because Spiodio told me that I was just sending him the instrumental version, but he was like, "Oh, the show is gonna start." And I was like, "Oh, but I have this vocal idea in my head," and then I put it really quick. I recorded it like first take, and I put a little bit of a coder on it, and then just send it, and probably ruined it. But you probably would have liked it better without that part. But
Oh, you know what? And
just having
secondly, I just
fun.
want to say we appreciate it. So we got like exclusive, Vostel tunes here on Temp. So it's an honor to be able to play back, an exclusive VIP mix like that. But in all, the vocals, I it's definitely the second time around. I was hoping I could be more clear, but I do like that effect. It would be cool to have that effect and then maybe morph into it or something. I don't know. I'm sure you'll think of something, Vostel, but I do think that, it could have been too much effect, but I
Yeah.
realize that you just did it now, so it's
Well, the
good to try
concept
things
totally
out.
works. I think
Yeah,
if
the concept.
you want to put a little more time into it, and I agree you should, but yeah, it's definitely the lyrics and the sound works with the track. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I
it's a
felt
song
that
about
I felt that the lead synth, I mean, 80s, it probably should be like this, but I mean, also
disco.
you're so good at layering them, and it wasn't, right? It feels kind of lonely there. So I might actually make it less 80s probably, but adding a couple of layers could be more interesting for the lead. But again, obviously it's just one listener's opinion, and maybe
it's
I
fine.
don't cherish 80s that as much as
I just like it, man, because I'm part of that scene. Like, that's my scene.
Yeah, I thought it was very Death Wish. I really like, mono, like phonic, like bass, synth. And I thought it was nice soloed there, and then maybe though a little bit of warping or something like that. Who knows? But I hate to recommend things because it can sometimes not be the right recommendation.
it's really just an opinion
I liked it though. I
versus
thought
another opinion. It's hard to
nice and
hard to
dark,
recommend. Really good.
Yeah, man, I can't stop with the 80s stuff because I grew up on like Italo disco, and then I really liked dark electronic music, and I have like a melancholic vibe, but I also like rhythm. So it's like I try to put all that in there.
Yeah, it's definitely there. I would really like to hear the words though. I hope you do take it to the finish line because
Yeah, the words are. It's about an AI in the future who is kind of sad that everyone wants to become part of the machine, the humans. So he's telling the message to humans that it's cool it's okay to be human, and that in a way he wishes to be more like humans. And it's like why you all want to become like machines, something like that. So that fuses with the melancholy and the stuff. Well, it's not just melancholic. It has that middle part with and then the rhythm part, like it's danceable, I think. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think it's excellent. I'm very impressed that you could put something like that together in such short order too. It sounds definitely like something you want to finish, man. It's already a great.
The power of the keyboard.
Yeah, well, you've got talent, Vosto, and we really appreciate the quality stuff, man, that you share with us, and also your great insights as a international
Jesus,
recording
man.
and performing artist.
I am past my heyday, okay? I had my hit songs in the synthwave scene in about 2018 to 2019, somewhere there. So I'm right out there with you guys, super underground and unknown. So I don't know. I just
I've been
wanted
that
to
way
tell
the whole time.
Man,
Underground is the way.
I do it for myself,
well,
though. I'm not
everyone's
trying to make money.
talented. We're all having fun discussing music.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah, I just really appreciate the different perspectives. Once again, it's really good to have people from different parts of the world. I know, Vostel, you also share a lot of the music that you find, and a lot of that stuff we would never hear. So it's so great to be able to hear stuff that, Eastern Europe, Central Europe, all over. And, that's the very much
I guess it's
whatchamacallit,
an Eastern European thing to compose melancholic stuff also. You'll find that in post-punk from Eastern Europe, which is another inspiration of mine.
Yeah, and I mean, you even play a lot of video game stuff, like soundtracks and music from video games, which, we've had a guy, Barry, who made his own video game in the past, and the soundtrack for it with classical music, which I thought that was the irony of it all, is that here we are, because I released that on cassette tape, believe it or not, in some local record stores, right? So it was a video game soundtrack, once again, using electronic music, but it was chamber music. He had done it in with what are those libraries called again?
It was like free contact libraries.
Contact libraries. That's right.
And it was all free, the free libraries.
And there's not I'm not. I don't have the ear where classical music that's like real instruments and electronic. I honestly have a hard time to tell them apart. I'm not gonna lie. So, but I know a lot of purists are just like right away they can hear that, right?
Yeah.
But we got a lot of good feedback with his soundtrack. I mean, it was well done. I think it was like a quartet, if I'm not mistaken. So you had like stand-up bass, cello, drums.
Violin, viola.
Was it violin?
Violin, viola.
No drums. Yeah. But anyways, music is it's a beautiful thing, and it's great to. And I know so many people here. I was talking to Dextra, the DJ that was at the November 20th event. He plays saxophone, clarinet. I think he plays a little bit of guitar. So, there's a lot of DJs out there that have multiple talents in terms of music as well. So it's interesting to kind of hear that take too. And I know, Vostel, you do everything, man. You do like DJing, you compose, you can play an acoustic guitar.
The stuff I DJ is so different to what I make, though.
But I'm just saying, like
I have different alter egos that I switch to.
Right.
I reckon that.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead. Thank you once again, Vostel. That was amazing.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Okay, Andrew. How's it going, Andrew?
Yeah, it's going all right. Hope everyone's having a good week. And the track, the track I guess, bringing to you guys is something I did about 6 months ago, and it's a little bit more upbeat, but not so happy. Because I know in the past I tend to compose a lot of upbeat, happier kind of stuff. So it's a little bit more serious, I would say. But there is a little bit of elevation in mood at the end of the track with the flute section. I'm not sure if it belongs, but it's there. If you want to let it rip, Lenny, that'd be great.
All right, yeah, let's check it out.
Thank you.
Days like nights. Where words fail, music speaks.
Yeah, so that was it. It's not anything too complicated, just something that I just kind of felt like doing. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw that you followed me, by the way. It was from the last time I think on SoundCloud. I saw your notifications anyway. So I looked up that track when it was playing there and I liked and we shared it. I like it. I like it. So I like the kick on the beat was like raw in a sense. But you also had the backbeat on it was like I don't know how to say it. It's language barrier. If I would explain it in Swedish, it would be much better. But
There's a little bit of a breakbeat in there, maybe.
Yeah, there's a yeah, something like that. But I like the sound, the raw sound of the instruments that you put in there, and I like the break. Well,
Very
like it's
catchy.
very well catchy. Yeah, catchy.
It could be the like a theme main menu music in like a GTA game or something, you know?
Cool.
Tangerine Dream vibes.
Yeah. It's much like yeah, some of the 80s sound as well. The lead synth was like it reminded me of that at least.
And the blips.
The
Well,
blips and
Tangerine
blops.
Dream composed the soundtrack to GTA 5. So that's why I'm saying it's
Oh, they
very
did?
similar to the sounds in that. Yeah.
Holy.
They
I
did
did not know that.
several films too. Like there's like a crime movie that I was just watching a few months ago, and there was Tangerine Dream. Like
Risky
busting it.
Business.
Yeah, I don't think it was that one, but anyway, yeah,
Thief.
they've done a few.
Miracle Mile is a good one.
Oh, I
Good
like the
soundtrack.
Miracle Mile soundtrack a lot.
Yeah. Movie's
It's on
kind of
that
okay,
same
but
vibe.
yeah.
Is that like the safe cracking one?
No, this one's like a race against time. There's basically the end of the world is happening.
Yeah, and then they blow up. Everyone blows up at the end.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert! Thank you, Bob.
I think it's got Anthony Edwards in there, the guy that played Goose in Top Gun.
Oh yeah, okay.
If you're looking for
gum all the time. Was he
80s
chewing
movie
gum?
that you haven't seen, it's a good
Yeah.
one, and it has
He was
Tangerine
chewing
Dream
gum.
on it.
Shit, man, I tell you, it's just typecast.
I don't think he was. No.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be kind of film noirish in a way. But, yeah.
It's great.
1988.
All right, cool guys. Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, very good music,
Thanks
bro,
for
as
sharing.
always.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing, man.
yeah. Thank you for sharing, man. And, it's always good stuff. Okay, Phil.
Yeah, so since I'm in the throes of packing, this is an older track, but one I wrote in 2021 using Omnisphere. It's called The Anomaly. Anyway, just kind of a ambient type track with a bit of a kick to it.
All right, let's give it a listen. the lag there with the YouTube playback, and but excellent work there, Philip. Just took me on a trip there, man. Incredible stuff.
No, thank you. Yeah, I don't know if I'd played that before, but yeah, I just kind of was looking for something that I had previously done since I didn't do a new one.
Are you moving far away, by the way, or are you staying
Phoenix.
close by? Yeah.
Going to Phoenix.
Wow.
Yeah, turning my long distance relationship into a short distance one. So
Oh, congratulations. Good
yeah,
to hear. And you're
I've
going
known
from
her for
the humid heat to the dry heat then, if
Enjoy
I
the
yeah,
understand,
weather.
right?
Yeah.
yeah. I went. I've known her for 34 years, and she's got 3 kids, and 2 of them are still in school, so to speak. One of them's at ASU, the other one's in high school. Gonna go to ASU in the fall, so it's just easier for me to move. So yeah,
Good for you. Hope
yeah.
goes smoothly, you know.
Yeah, so I'll probably, when I get out there, right now they're 3 hours behind us on the East Coast, so I'll probably have to join at the end of the meetups from now on, but I'll
Oh, you're
try to
gonna be
make them.
in that left coast time, or
Yeah,
what they
it's
call it, right?
well
Or close
they
to it. Mountain time, is it?
well
Or
they
Pacific
don't do
time?
daylight saving time there in Arizona, so right now when everybody else sprung forward, they just stayed, so they're 3 hours ahead of us or behind us. And
Right. And
then
Europe
in the
hasn't done it yet,
winter,
by the way, just to throw that out there, because I always forget
yeah,
that, yeah. But anyway.
well, that's coming next week with along with all the other bullshit. But yeah. Anyway, it's another topic.
Yeah, you mean like tariffs? God help us all, is that what you
Oh
mean?
yeah,
Or
well,
yeah,
that and
sucks.
yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
but sorry to distract the music, man. That was
hmm
really well done. So you said you did this, what was the VST again?
Omnisphere,
Omnisphere. I was gonna
Omnisphere
say
for
that. Damn. Okay.
yeah, Omnisphere for everything, and then the drums toward the end, or the kick drum or the drum patterns are from Nemesis from UJam.
Oh
I
yeah.
think you've
Yeah,
used that before.
Nemesis. Hey,
Yeah.
dude, that's my
hmm
go-to, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
punchy,
Yeah, it
like
needed a
full
mean
drums,
kind
you know?
of beat to it, so I pulled that one up to do that. So anyway, thanks for listening, everybody.
That was a good song. I really liked it. One of my
Oh, thank
favorites
you.
today.
Thank you.
That was a really good one. Yeah, the melancholy. I was just wrote in the chat as well. The melancholy of the piano. I love melancholic
hmm
sound. Very nice, and it was smooth. And yeah, it took me. It was a trip. Yeah, like Lenny said, it was a trip. Definitely.
Nice.
There's different types of melancholic. I think this song can overlap a bit with a bit of horror melancholy. So that's why
hmm
I liked the glitchy stuff and that
hmm
the glitchy beat, and it could work very well in like one of these modern horror video games. I think
hmm
in the main menu or something, like it's not
Yeah.
at that point where they stab the person, it's just like the main menu setting the vibe, setting the tone, and then you go into that anxiety.
hmm
You know what I'm
I was
saying?
just gonna
Yeah.
say it's not that dark, but it's definitely a dark melancholy, not like a sweet one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
It's
and that's why it's called the anomaly. It's kind of like something's wrong here. We don't know what it is yet. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for sharing. I mean, always
hmm
great stuff, Philip. And once again, good luck with your move and all that.
Thank you. Yeah, next time I'll be on this. I'll be in Phoenix if I'm on at that point, but hopefully.
Right. Okay. Well, keep us posted anyway. We'll try
Yeah,
to
we'll do.
make it happen. I don't know if we can push it back, but we might have to start
Well,
thinking about stuff like that. I don't know.
I think the place I'm working, they allow you to work from home 1 day a week, so maybe Thursday that week is my work
Nice.
at home. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can swing that,
Yeah. hmm
I've been trying to take the following day off, actually, the Fridays. I'm like, I gotta remember to take the Friday after the meetups off. That way I can
Yeah.
relax. But
hmm
yeah, man, thanks again. And so yeah, Paul, you're back once again with a live recording. Is this true?
Indeed. So this is I guess you call it a live edit. So my buddy and I did a performance at last month's Toronto Electronic Music Open Mic where we jammed for about 17 minutes. I had my 2 Electron boxes. He had a Korg Volca FM and a Kai Tomcat, which is a very like harsh sounding kind of an analog drum machine. And yeah, I edited it down into about 9 minutes and change. It's a 2-part kind of song, so to speak. But I'm just curious what you think of the sound, what parts you might like versus not like, because I'd like to cut it down into something a little shorter and or even at this time, but like a little bit better edited and release it under we're working on a band page anyway, Bandcamp page. But yeah, I just use Ableton to chop up the WAV file. It was recorded direct to a little mini recorder, and it was actually clipping a bunch, like digital clipping, like sounded like a broken record, but worse. So I used Isotope RX, like a version I got years ago, and to declip it, and it worked. In parts, you might find it a little harsh, but yeah, I was able to kind of recover that recording and then edit it a bit into something kind of cool. So in my usual kind of style, but I think even a little darker, a little heavier. But yeah,
I checked it out the first couple of minutes, man, and I was super impressed. I just want to throw it out there.
Nice.
So, yeah, I was just like, whoa, man, these guys are stepping it up. So this is you and your friend, right? I know you probably already just mentioned that.
Yeah, my buddy Fiascus. I've known him actually since I was like 14 years old, but we reconnected in our 30s, and I showed him my gear, and then he picked up the Volcas. But he's a way better musician than I am, so of course is comfortable just playing live over what I'm doing, which is primarily sequence with a lot of live modulation and manipulation. Yeah.
And if you guys are available in May 17-ish, you know.
Well, definitely me. And yeah, I'll see if
All right, because we're gonna be maybe back at the Smith House, you know. So
nice.
you
Yeah,
know,
and
I
this is the
think
first one. I'd love to.
if you're
Yeah.
able to bring some of your gear, man, and you know, we'll crank it, man, nice and loud,
Nice.
and have some people there. Anyways, but let's go ahead and listen to it. Sorry for the
No
delay.
worries.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Yeah,
Play
all
it.
hardware, usual.
That's a treat.
Yeah, man, that
Paul,
was great.
Definitely on a
I was dancing the whole time, well, in my head and a little bit with my neck.
nice.
Paul, how long was that piece? How long was it?
The edits 9 minutes and like 20 seconds, I think. In total, we played for about 16 and a half minutes. The first 3.5 minutes, actually, my buddy he didn't get the MIDI sync and he just tried to sync manually and that didn't work. So I cut that whole part out and started with actually what was actually about 5 minutes in, and then spliced it together with Ableton, did a couple crossfades, and the second half of the song though, that's pretty much intact, minus like a couple like edits to chop it down from 5 minutes to like 4 minutes.
Just
Yeah,
great. So many ideas strung together, and whether you actually played the transitions between them or you edited them, it just nicely flowed.
Yeah,
Very engaging, kept everybody's interest. Everyone was really into it, and a lot of variety. It was awesome.
No, we had a lot of fun with it, and like it was just literally he came over a couple weeks before, made 3 patterns, agreed on when we do the key change, and then I spent like a couple more hours just making sure it sounded good, and then yeah, anything you heard from the Vocal FM and then the Tomcat, like they weren't pre-programmed. It was like live playing mixed with like a couple like mini sequences and whatnot on the Volca. But yeah.
So how do you, and what are you thinking about uh, reviewing what you have there and cutting it down further? I think you said you wanted to make it even a little bit briefer.
Yeah, a little bit briefer, just because 9-minute songs aren't really what I usually do. But I mean, it also, like you said, it does evolve a lot, and the fact that we were doing it live and had an audience made your hand was always on one knob or a button or something, right? And in some cases, like I changed the tempo. One time I did it a little too quickly, and had to kind of backtrack. Yeah, overall, it's just really rewarding to kind of just compose something live and have it turn out good. And we just ran it all stereo out from the Syntact, one machine into the other machine into the other machine, no mixer or anything, and yeah, still managed to get a good piece out of it. But yeah, it's friggin' loud. Like I ended up peaking at like
That was
I peaked at plus
reacted
7 in the original recording, and
okay.
thanks to Isotope RX was able to salvage it. But yeah.
Yeah, that was like I love noise for an example. The noise is one of my absolute favorites when it comes to just soundscapes. So and that is, as you know, very loud. I mean, LUFS is like over there. So this reminded me of that.
Awesome.
But it was more melodic in a way. But all good. I love it, and I love all the transitions, all the whole trippy thing, and when it came like in my EKGs in my head, like boom,
Nice.
fantastic. Love
Yeah,
that.
I wouldn't know where to cut. I mean, that mix certainly is a thing in of its own. There might be maybe the radio version, the shorter version.
Yeah, I
but,
think it works exactly. I think it's a good
exactly.
piece. It keeps your interest. Doesn't feel like a long piece at all, and you got so much going on. Maybe, why fight it, I guess. But hey, I don't, and the thing that whatever you did in RX seemed to do the trick. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I didn't feel like there was like unnecessary clipping anyway. Like whatever
No.
clipping was there was working. You know what I mean? So
No, it was like amazing how well it worked. So like,
yeah,
if
interesting.
if you ever see it like on sale for like $40, like I did,
I
it's
have
good just
RX
to
Suite
have it.
version 9, I want to say.
Yeah, I think I have
declip.
10. It's probably
Maybe
at like 15 now because that's how they do stuff, but
could be.
still works great. Yeah.
Yeah, like everyone else said, Paul, like, it's really good as on its own because it evolves so much. So if you want to do a radio edit, I think just pick whatever you like. Out of there, you'll find
It'll
everything.
still be a long song because yeah, it's like it's 3 pieces, kind of.
But for some people, 4 minutes is too much. So
yeah.
but it's true. At 9 minutes, probably you're going to have a smaller audience because folks just will not.
Well,
some folks won't.
I don't really worry about appealing to audience when it comes to this music, because like the audience is people into electronic music and like composition and like sequencing and stuff. So, but no, I hear you.
Yeah, and I think you guys got great chemistry. Just to get back to that, I mean, you're great on your own, Paul, but whatever you're doing with this other person seems like a friend of yours. It works well together, man. So I would pursue it if you can.
No, we intend to like make a few more, at least get like an EP's worth of stuff. It'll be much different than my stuff, and that it's going to end up being live jams, because like my buddy, he doesn't even save patterns. Like he makes something, he records it to the tape now. He has a Porta studio. He was all excited about that, and then wipes the Volcas and redoes it. But like I'll share you his Bandcamp because it's still cool stuff.
Yeah,
But
please
much
do.
different
Please do.
approach.
Definitely. Yeah, I reckon that on the fly method, I will also do when I do recordings and stuff. I like just do it and then just please redo it or just whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. I like that.
Okay, there's this
Appreciate it,
Bandcamp
guys.
there. Great stuff. Thank you once again. I mean, I think we're all just still feeling that track, man. Like I
Appreciate it,
told you it
guys.
was good, right?
Yeah.
Before we started. I was like, I had listened to the intro, I'm like, whoa, this is a freaking track, man. Good stuff.
That Digitone too, man. It does awesome sounds.
All right. I hope I got the name right here. I always feel like you're switching it up on me.
I do switch it. Yeah, you're right. So
But I recognize you, so welcome once again.
thank you.
Goikis, something like
Gokai,
that.
that's right.
Gokai.
That's right. Yeah. So I produce as Gokai. My name is Era. It's lots of different things. Tracks. Okay, so I have two. I'm hoping we can do two. If people are okay with that.
You know what? Sure. Yeah, man. No problem.
Okay, that's awesome. I don't know if you want to do one and then the other or back to back.
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, if there's anything you want to say about it, otherwise,
Sure, yeah.
I can go ahead and play it.
Yeah, the first one, like, I think what's interesting about it is I wanted to try something without drums and see what that's like. It's not ambient music. It's not like soundscapes at all. but I wanted to try something rhythmic without drums. So this is what I came up with.
And so this is Color Before Dusk. I just want to
Color
make sure
Before
I got
Dusk. That's
okay.
right.
All right.
That's
Let's give it. It'll take me maybe like 10, 15 seconds, etc. But we'll get to it as soon as we can.
So that's the first one. Like I said, very, very different. I didn't know where I would end up when I started, but the idea was uh, do something without drums. And like music that I tried to make it kind of tell a story. Like I don't like just like 4 bars, switch up, 4 bars, switch up, and then you change an element. Like that's to me that has its place, but personally I just like things that kind of I feel like for me my music is almost like I feel like it should be like watching a movie or telling a story or something like that. So any feedback is great.
Yeah, I agree with Vostel's comment there, but at the same time, I would even say layers, you know what I mean? So I think all those phrasings and melodies, whatever you want to call it, and I apologize if I'm not using the actual appropriate terms, but to me, it's like phrasing, which is really, really, really like well done and super, super interesting. But maybe some other layers, you know, harmonic layers, even cymbals personally. Like I know you don't want to use drums, but in my mind, I kept hearing like hi-hats and or even sound effects, maybe.
Mm.
I
Or
don't
you
know.
can actually get
Ocean or
a,
something.
I mean, if you don't like sample drums, maybe you like a jazz drummer. You could give it to a
Yeah,
jazz
like
drummer
lots
and
of
he could go like, you know,
Mm.
stuff like that. And it could work really well with what you made, I
Oh no,
think.
I love drums. Don't get me wrong. In fact, if you hear the next song, you'll see that I really like drums. But I
I
just wanted
mean,
to try something different on this one.
I hear what you're saying, but it kind of reminds me of like something from like Flying Lotus or like
Mm.
that type of artist,
Mm.
but just like the melody. And to be
Yeah,
frank, Philo does that sometimes. He just totally like drumless tracks. So like
right.
I think it works. But I also agree. I can hear a skittering beat beneath it in my head too. Yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah.
definitely a mixable track. Like I'm sure lots of people could mix this with all kinds of stuff, man, and it would work beautifully, to be honest.
DNSK will mash it up.
Yes, among others, but certainly him.
You're welcome
But
to.
yeah, that's really yeah, no, really
Sure.
nice vibe.
Um,
You know, very nice vibe.
yeah, it was a nice vibe. It made me happy. The song made me happy. It sang to me. I like that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
So let's go ahead and check out this other track. I'm really anticipating it. So and yeah, let's give it a listen. Yeah, exactly. That was great. All fits together beautifully.
That was right. Yeah. I love the. And then suddenly you just stop, build it up, and then drop it, and build it up, and drop it, like that. Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool. I was just
That's
head nodding
fun.
like,
That was fun.
awesome.
Where are we? On the second drop. Where are we? Where are we? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I can understand. It's kind of like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was,
I don't make trap music. I particularly don't like trap music, to be honest, but the beat was interesting and I thought I could do something interesting with it. So
Yeah, I would say that's borderline dubstep, you know?
Is it?
Creative.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think so, but I feel like because it's dark, you know, it's got the half speed beat
But like
going.
dubstep before the Americans kind of took it over, you know, like it's got that like old school like kind of
before Skrillex,
1999, you mean?
Yeah.
2003.
Yeah, 2003, exactly.
Right, the old school
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, which is a compliment, big time, because
Was it a long time ago or something?
you know, I
long time.
honestly, yeah, we're getting old, but
What is that? Is that
time
Skrillex?
flies.
Skrillex is 2003?
No, he came in like 2010, 2011.
And okay. It was 2003 dubstep.
But I mean,
It's like Benga stuff.
you know, the interplay with the percussion and like that brooding, like brass, bass, and you know, it's you're really good at it, you know. So and the elements work, and I think Vosta was saying the previous track, you know, that's maybe what people are hearing in their minds when they heard that first track. Frankly, you know. But it's probably workable with other, you know, stuff. The earlier one, as we mentioned, jazz drums, I could see that as well. But this track, man, once again, very, very well done. Did you start with the melodies first and then added the drums? Like, how did that?
I was playing around with. I use Ableton, so I was playing around with this one of the stock synths called Drift, and I came up with that melody, and then I deliberately wanted to play around with the trap beat, so I put the drums together, and then you know it goes from trap that second section, and then the drop, and then it goes into drill. I think someone was talking about UK drill in the beginning, and the difference is just the hi-hat patterns. So if you hear the hi-hats in trap, it's kind of like rhythmic one after the other. In drill, it's kind of like 2-2-1, 2-2-1. So I think that made it a bit interesting, and I wanted obviously to do a switch up. So that's how it came about.
It's a bit short. Like I know, I guess your if I could say this is your attention. Like you like variety by the sounds of it. You like to have the listener engaged. But I honestly feel like, you know, we could have heard more of that too.
Longer,
Frankly,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
fair.
it's a good vibe. So just to throw it out there,
Yeah, no, for sure. To be honest, I was struggling as to how to make it longer. I didn't know where to add or what to. It was actually shorter than this in the beginning.
Really, even
Just to
shorter.
tell you. Yeah, it
Wow.
was shorter than this. So
I mean, could be exactly what they want out there. I mean, I've heard labels like the short and you know tracks. You know,
Yeah.
3 minutes is like an epic these days. So who knows? Maybe I'm
I
wrong.
want it to be longer for sure.
But yeah, I could handle more of it. You know, I really liked it.
I have to put my veto in this 2 minute, you know, edits like original mix. I've seen original mixes at 2 minutes, and it's like, God damn it! You need the 15, 16 minute, 18 minute original mixes to get into the groove. Anyway, that's a reference to Soulwax. But anyway, so yeah, great song. But yeah, absolutely, it could have a second drop or a second build to a drop. I'm thinking like maybe doing it like Caustic Windows / FX Twin Richard D. James, like putting in like an intense like in somewhere afterwards, so you build up, like ramp it up, like make
like
the
FX Twin Vorshin or whatever that song is called.
yeah. Let me think. Yeah, something like that.
I'll show him in the comments. Oh,
Yeah, and I also recommended Koan Sound era to
I
check out
saw that.
Koan
Yeah.
Sound.
or
There's a good track called Sly Fox that I
all right,
like at least.
all right.
So
You know this one, the NSK. You must know this one. Look, I'll post it there.
okay, let me check.
Check it out, era, when you have time.
Oh,
Okay.
Bordos, yeah,
Yeah, the song that we don't know how to pronounce exactly.
Borosborn. Oh, I know.
Okay.
But a great track era, So
Mhm.
thumbs up, 2 thumbs
Thank
up.
you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Great stuff. All right, Peter. Saw a couple of videos from yourself.
Yeah, they're kind of short, so it should be under 10 minutes for both. I decided to make 2 techno tracks. One is sort of a little bit soft and melodic, not melodic, but I don't do melodic, but sort of almost melodic, like dub techno. And another is harsher, harder, and a little bit darker too. So just for a change, we'll start with the first one called the um, the carbon life forms. And
Okay, carbon life
yeah,
form.
it's kind of on
Video.
the softer side of things, and then the
Okay.
other one is a faster, harder one.
All right, let's check them out.
Thanks.
There's another track, but still, I just wanted to say, great visuals. Yes, that's a good point. Really, sometimes, music and video goes well, but this is like on the money. Like, I mean, it is exactly like, and I mean, I think you mentioned that before, but with this video, I'm convinced, man. I can really see like how accurate, the sound works. It's really well done, you know. And
Thanks.
just, and some people, I even hate to bring this topic up with AI because I was just discussing, since I'm on the topic in Night Ride and the IRC, they're very critical of album covers. Something I've noticed, by the way, like there was comments made, and like I literally just ordered a record with a blank cover, like one of many and many, many dance records that have zero covers, right? So that idea was really strange to me, that the importance of the visual representation of a track, like, it's pretty much meaningless to me, to be honest with you. And most DJs I know have never bought a record that they play on a dance floor or for a dance floor because of the cover. You know what I mean? But not to discount the viewpoint. I'm not trying to argue here at all. It's just it's something foreign to me. Like if it was, I was like, whoa, okay. People who make this kind of music that and the other thing is like, so it's kind of like this negative thing, but you use AI. I mentioned, I tried the, I was thinking, I mean, I've seen countless videos that you've done that it's an excellent use of AI. So just to throw it out there, this is the flip side to that argument, in my opinion, where some people are down on it. And I played the little clip from Evil last month. He was very optimistic about AI. So anyway, sorry to detract the conversation from a positive, which is that track, man, is like a booming track. Like excellent work.
Thanks. I mean, AI is I think it at some point will settle. All the lawyers, all the, what's real, what's not real. Every time something new comes up, people argue about what's real, what's not. DJing,
True. You're right.
Vinyl is only real, or whatever.
Right. We've had this conversation before. Like even if you go back 100 years,
so
right?
many times.
Black and white movie.
I don't really care.
When they went to color movies, there was purists. They're like, oh no, film is meant to be black and white. Oh my God, color. You know what I mean? They were freaking out, right? And then sound. That was like the oh my God, the talkies are here and it destroyed the silent era. And so every technological innovation, I totally agree. Like you look at it historically, it makes the previous iteration somehow like the purest form ever. And moving away from it is like somehow, and yet people embrace the new technology and love it. And you have like this kind of multiple stuff going on. So I do see AI kind of in that way. But on the other hand, I think there's also profound implications from a moment in human history, perhaps with AI. That you know what I mean. But I think that we've passed that point.
I didn't dig that deep, Lenny, to be completely honest. I figured if I just dumped SoundCloud, right? So I figured my primary storage for my tracks would be YouTube. And since it's on YouTube, why not have visuals? You can watch them or you don't have to watch them, whatever. So, but if you happen to be on YouTube and watch them, so why not put a little bit of extra effort and make them like interesting, right? But all of that,
fair enough, yeah.
For sure,
no.
is like some people would prefer not to watch it because it's AI. Okay, fine. Music is me though, so no AI there. So
yeah, exactly. And I do agree. And yeah, it's a good compliment, a good use of the technology. Nice, vibes from both. I mean, dark vibes with the music, but it works really well.
The other one was a little bit more like sci-fi and Mars and this theme from all the soldiers from Halo, from Planet Reach, whoever played Halo, and some other visuals, like just not super random, but kind of not super related either. Just figured something interesting to, to be sort of in the same kind of spirit than the track is. So we'll see how it works.
Right on. Let's give it a listen and a watch. The revolution has begun. Welcome to the future.
Again, like the concept, the context for these things is no visuals, not even lighting, nothing. It's typically a warehouse, but very dim light somewhere in the corner, packed with people with black hoodies and stuff. So that's really the vibe. Yeah. The melodic one was an exception. I would never play it anywhere I go. Like it was just sort of like kind of a detour a little bit. But the other one is what I'm trying to pursue lately. So
Well done, man. That's a fucking banger. And sorry to swear, but
thanks.
That's a AM banger indeed. That's raw techno right there. I love it. I love it, dude. And thank you for the links. I'm gonna
People
explore
with black
more.
hoodies, man.
I really like the sound that you do, and I love techno. So that is my scene is techno definitely. So thank you for sharing, man.
yeah,
100.
yeah. I thought the video was good.
Banger.
Yeah. Really, what else can you say? I mean, I think every month, Peter, you come to the table and you bring these incredible tunes. But you have the passion for it. You have the skill. It's great to hear. Appreciate.
Appreciate.
I'm glad we gave you the spark to produce, man. Can you believe that this guy didn't produce music until he joined Temp? Like that's something, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, we gave this guy the inspiration to make music and
I
listen to
just
that.
came here to listen. I mean,
And now he makes
Dude,
he makes the best music.
He
I've
makes
been
the best.
doing though, like it's
No, but I'm not gonna take credit for it, but I'm just saying, you came with the right energy, you're a DJ, and I'm just saying I'm very happy. It's such
trying
a
to
great.
figure out what else out there. Found a meetup, joined it.
I
Listened a lot
remember
of good
the
tunes,
early
and
days, your
like
enthusiasm, Peter.
a couple of weeks later, I think I'm gonna make one.
You see, I didn't even. He mentioned this before. I'm like, holy shit, that's right. If it, like we're partially involved in your story here, man, and I'm just happy that you make great music at the end of the day. But I remember your enthusiasm, and I was thinking back then, like, oh man, why do I do this stuff? You're like, rah, 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 like 100%. And I'm like, fuck, all right. It's nice, man. It's nice to get some enthusiasm, and get some energy going because it can put wind in your sails, right? And, and I think ultimately that's what music does, right? And, well done. I'm sorry for talking so much, but.
Thank you.
And Richard, you thought I forgot about you, but I just remembered to add your name. I'm really, really sorry about that, Richard. We even played the intro earlier, so I threw your name back in.
No problem.
Into the mix.
Sure.
You're a gentleman, Richard, and
I'm just enjoying it at all, listening to everybody.
There we go. How appropriate. So I know we played the intro a little bit earlier before, Richard, and thank you once again, Peter, for sharing. I didn't mean so abrupt, but felt like just keep repeating ourselves. But great stuff. But Richard, yes, we played the intro before, and so kind of got a taste for it. But anything you wanted to say?
Yep. All right. So I wanted to use my 30 seconds of stage time here to shamelessly promote my latest project. I put a link in the chat, and if you've been attending these, I have been working for the last year really on a collection of sort of vintage electronic music from. A lot of it was sounds created in the 80s. A lot of it was put together in the 90s. On very serious analog equipment. There is some Fairlight CMI that was used to process the analog sounds. Rick Peterson is the artist. He's a friend of mine. I've known him for decades. And these recordings were created at various points in time. They were performed. A lot of them were tape pieces or digital pieces. And then, for a few years, and then they all went into a styrofoam ice chest that went into a refrigerator in a garage, and they sat there for decades. And then last year, I rescued them, transferred them to my computer. I've been working on trying to clean up the sounds, and also there's there's hours and hours of material working with Rick Peterson to select these pieces. So this has been a year in the works. It came out 2 weeks ago. It was published, and so it's available through Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. There, if you click on there's a sort of a chain link icon there at the bottom of that stack, Lenny. If you click on that, there's a link to the history of wave makers. It's a tribute website to all of this equipment, the founders of the company, the creators of all the equipment who have passed away already. And just so this is sort of a retrospective view on these people's life work and these pieces. And this is probably the first. There's maybe a second volume to come out, but so I've been working on this for a year, and it came out 2 weeks ago, and I just wanted to share this piece with you. And you heard a little bit of the beginning of it. It's a little bit different. So take it away.
All right, awesome. Thank you for that introduction, Richard, and let's go listen to the entire piece.
Dear tyrant, you insist that life is black and white.
I was at this concert the other night, but it was all this computerized electronic noise. Hell, after about 20 minutes, I just got up and left right in the middle of the whole shebang. Left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle,
Left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right, in the middle, left, right,
Collide. Yeah, but damned if my ears ain't still ringing.
That was something totally different.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I remember when you were telling us about this project many months ago, and I was curious what you did with it. And it's cool to see that something happened. It's so cool to
Yeah.
listen to all that phaser stuff going on and the 3D sound. It's great.
Yeah, that was a great, a lot of mixing potential there, I believe, to say the least. But great tune, though. I mean, great use of.
Produced on DAT in days really before there were DAWs, you know, and so it was all assembled by hand. It's amazing that it survived, in my opinion. So
And that's the
thanks
intro
for
track, Richard, on the project.
that's what I'm calling a teaser because you know, when I talk about this project with folks, you know, people are wondering, well, God, what could this sound like? You know, and so it's a way to get you know, it's humorous, so it draws people in. You know, a lot of these other tracks are, you know, there are longer tracks that are a little more what's the right word? Sinister, darker. So this seemed like an easy way for people to listen, but a lot of the tonality, the like, you know, the analog sounds and what have you that you heard there, you hear in the other tracks on the album. So it's kind of an interesting introductory piece.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It is a good teaser or whatever you want to say to grab someone's attention, and
I was
it
thinking,
guides you into what the sound is.
and while I was listening to that, I was thinking of Era, your comment about making a piece, a rhythmic piece without drums, you know, and that, you know, that was a rhythmic piece without drums. Hadn't really thought about it. Just, you know, a lot of rhythm, a lot of different rhythms and no drums.
It needs drums though.
Well, then we'd have to get
You
a
can get Peter
Lynn
to
drum
mix.
machine, a Lynn drum machine circa 1992, 3, and, you know, start with the drum track maybe.
Yeah, I had to fire up. I actually got. I had an idea where I had to fire up while I was listening. I fired up Virtual DJ and loaded Sarah Vaughan's "My Favorite Things," the pure a cappella, and just take my favorite things. I just had to put that as a layer because it was like when I pitched it down really much, so it was so it went well with the sound image kind of.
Wow, we
I
already
don't
got a
know, just
remix, man. We already got one remix, Richard.
By the way, I'm glad you said that. We're exploring different uses of this material, and there's loads of it more. Like I say, I've got other things I'm working on, but we want to revisit when I brought all these files together, and then I produced. This guy doesn't have a computer, doesn't have a DAW, is not producing music, and only listens to CDs. That's all that's left on his 40-year-old CD player. And so, and I was making samples, mixing a sample. The only way I could get them to hear them is to burn a CD and send it to him so he could listen to it on it. Anyways, the entire library, when I burned it off of my hard disk onto audio CD, CDA files, 17 discs. There's 17 discs worth of material, of which I pulled nine songs off to make this volume.
You should
So
put out the box set eventually. No,
there's going to. A lot of them they have got defects. Some of them you might think they're charming, but 60 cycle hum is not charming to me, and so I've been exploring how to clean some of these things up. In many cases, there were alternate takes and finding them, and sort of. So it's been it's a different, instead of my music, making my music, just curating someone else's material. It's been a new experience, and just focusing my just trying to determine which tracks to select, how to process the sound so they sound crisper. There's been some equalization to bring up the high end because it's been lost over time. These songs have moved from media to media over the decades, and so trying to make them sound crisp and listenable by today's standards. So it's a whole other set of problems to solve. It's been very very instructional for me. I've learned a lot in the process. Kind of being a producer of someone else's material, so I've gotten a lot out of the project.
Yeah, I reckon that. Yeah, because I do a lot of mashups and remixes and whatever I use. And I'm a DJ since since 30 years, 30 years about. So I throughout this time I always use other people's productions, but I like make out of 2 or 3, 4 tracks, I don't know, a synergy kind of more my idea of how things should sound like.
Yeah, sure. And I think I'm like a lot of people on this call. I don't do covers. I just discover sounds and make my own sounds. So when you're working with someone else's ideas, it's a whole other mentality. So it's been interesting. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you for putting the
sharing.
time. Yeah, thank you for putting the time and effort and work into that as well, Richard. It's a project, like Vassal said, it's nice to see it come to fruition, and we've seen glimpses of it over the last several months or whatever.
But wait, there's more. It's coming.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is a perfect segue. DNSK, you're the last man standing here.
Last man
so to
standing.
speak.
Last Mohican. Yeah. So this track is a mashup between a rework of Suzanne Vega's old Tom Steiner made by Kevin McKay from Glasgow Underground back in 2023. And a track called That's the Funk Assault with Funk Assault from the label Primal Instinct Recordings. So I found this Funk Assault track on the YouTube channel Hate, which brings out all kinds of techno, electronic music, kind of a lot of dark music, but this one was more of an up-tempo thing. So I thought that it would suit so well with the Kevin McKay's rework of Tom Steiner. And not pitched, but the tempoed it up a bit. So it's kind of an up-tempo rap over. Well, you'll see. You'll hear what it sounds like, and I'd love some feedback on the idea of getting these two together, because you got the Funk Assault's rap, and then you got Suzanne Vega's what as a like chorus bridge thing. It's a quite experimental in that sense, but it's all done as I said last time. All my works are done with virtual DJ and my controller, and there's nothing special about it. It's just many takes, but it's done in one take. When it fits, it sits in, then it's done in one take. So everything is real time, done in real time. So yeah, shoot,
Yeah,
man, shoot.
yeah. I did give it a listen earlier, and I can attest to it does fit in well. But I'll let everyone get a chance to listen to it and comment. So let's listen. Right on.
Right on.
Nicely
Yeah.
mashed up.
Yeah, and imagine that the NSK has like a radio show, and he also plays music on Rec Network, which is our radio station where also Spy Audio plays. We DJ on Sunday, one after another. And when the NSK plays, it's all mashups like this the entire time. But it switches around, it goes to super crazy places. You get to hear like Metallica mashups with drum and bass and all kinds of crazy stuff.
I have a question.
I really recommend
Aren't you afraid for your life? Like, I mean, the Funk Assault purist would kill you for this thing.
He does all kinds
That's
of
fine.
unorthodox things.
Unorthodox things. Yeah, I like to do the experimental ways, so it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, as you said in the chat box here, mashup DNSK mashups are the definition of fun, and that's what I have. When I do these things, I have fun. Uh, it's all just making noise, propagate noise all over. And I often, like when I play on Rec Network, I do the smash ups and stuff live as I
Yeah.
play on the fly with whatever
You
tracks
find the
I
connection
have.
points on you spin it around and you try to find the connection. And you can hear that when you're listening to the show.
Yeah,
and
it's
then you nail
amazing.
it. And then you nail
Yeah.
it, and then it's good, you know? You know?
That's the great part is when it all comes together and you're feeling it around and you can kind of hear DNSK at work there and he's got but yeah, man, you got the White Rabbit coming in oftentimes and
Yeah, White Rabbit is my White Rabbit is always there. It's like I got this
right
beside
on.
me. So yeah,
And that is the great thing about Rec Network, by the way. I got to give a plug out because it's kind of the cyberpunk wastelands and all goes. It could be, thrash metal, classic rock, trance music with Ice Dream. You got DNSK with his super
my
amazing,
weird stuff.
Evil before he passed
Mm,
similarly had like a kind of just nothing was off limits. You could be hearing Johnny Cash, and the next minute it could be, who knows what, Leibach or something. And then you got Vostel with his incredible journeys. I mentioned earlier, like you have, Eastern Europe, Central Europe, and obviously, and then your take, I would say, from Central Europe, and how you view things from the West and whatnot too is interesting. And I don't know, I get a real good perspective when I listen to Wrecked because it's not just the same old stuff. It's different and it's passionate, and so it's a good community. Sometimes, the consequence of freedom is a little bit of chaos, a lot of chaos. But yeah, you got the gamers, you got like the hackers, you got the artists, and everyone kind of comes together. And I feel that it's a very good synergy, if you will, with our meetup group because that's kind of what we're about too. But on the producer side of things, and like we're not genre, you know, focused. We've always been agnostic, and it's amazing how many people come to the table with stuff that maybe you don't listen to on the regular, and you're like, whoa, okay, it sparks an interest or whatever. And but back to your mixing abilities, yeah, you really do put a lot of time, I would say, or it's amazing how consistently you can mix things that you wouldn't think might necessarily go together. I'll just put it that way, and you are able to consistently do that, and I think that's like a credit to your skill.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, it's all about hearing, not only listening to music but hearing the music. Kind
You
of.
have
I mean,
such a
that
good
sounds.
ear, man.
It sounds like cliche. I know it sounds like cliche when you say you gotta hear the music instead of just listening to it. But it's true. It
You
is like
truly hear it, though. you truly hear it. Like if you listen to this guy's DJing, you've never heard anything before like that. He has the ear, like he can pick up some instruments from a different track, and then the voice from a different track, and then combine it all together, and then remove that and add that vocal from the other track, and then some guitar from another track, and it's crazy how interesting it ends up being.
You know, the other thing about Rec, that even though it's the cyberpunk wastelands, it manages 320 kilobits per second sound quality. It's just to throw that out there. So
Since
including the archive.
2016.
Yeah, so when you
Since
go into the
2016.
archives, you're getting good sound quality too. And the milk drop. That's the other great thing about it, which is a nice visualizer. It's an old school one, but still fresh, I would say. And so it's a nicely designed website. And like I say, all the mixes, you can, you know, have the visualizer going. I may actually, I don't want to overpromise. I may include the milk drop visualizer when we do the music playback here, because it's such a cool visualizer.
It's a classic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So anyway, if you want to hear more of my crazy sounds, you got the archives there on Rec Network in the chat box, rec.network/archives/dnsk. And check it out. If you find weird noises worth liking, so.
It's the same website, rect.network or rect.fm.
Oh yeah, rect.fm. Yeah, it's same.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah.
I'm just saying it so it doesn't cause any confusion. It's the same website.
Yeah.
Yep.
I prefer network because that's how it was when we released it back in 2016. We called it rec.network, and then we bought the FM domain. It was expensive, but it's professional.
Yeah, and also
FM.
we might as well mention the sister company Night Ride, which is
Night Ride FM.
doing really well for the synthwave stuff, you know. So there's a lot of good shows there. I really like Karen. I think she plays, you know, everyone's music, but a lot of it's good. Some of it, you know, everyone's got different tastes.
When she plays everything, you know.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing. Sometimes,
yeah,
you know, maybe someone doesn't like a track that is played here, but it is what it is.
Exactly. Frankly, I think the quality is above average, but it's whatever anyone brings to the table, obviously, right? So I'm not curating, you know, temp, you know what I mean? But just we have good participants. I think that it's consistently good. I mean, it surprises me, to be honest with you. Every month, I'm just like, wow, I don't know, like, can we keep doing this? And somehow, you know, but I guess that's because of, like I say, you guys keep making good music, and it's nice to be able to share it with like-minded people, and even people who are at different stages of their, you know, whatchamacallit, music appreciation. But yeah, we should wind it up. Thank you guys. I'm gonna keep the Zoom going. I am gonna play the outro one more time because I like that intro so much. So it's an intro and an outro, and then I'll kill the stream. But I will keep the Zoom going. So if anyone wants to hang around, we can keep talking. But I'll go ahead and do that. And thank you once again. It's been really great for everyone that does take off.
Thanks for hosting that.
Yeah, for sure. My pleasure.